Hello, I'm Karina.
And I'm Jamie. Welcome to As Told by ADHD. This podcast is a brainchild of two best friends with ADHD who share a passion for learning and a knack for finding the most fascinating tidbits of knowledge.
Each week, we embark on a wild and hilarious journey of discovery as we dive headfirst into topics that pique our curiosity. From dark folklore to bizarre statistics, cultural ceremonies to famous dead people, we're here to entertain, educate, and tickle your funny bone.
This week on As Told by ADHD, we're going to bring you some stories of failed festivals. And let me tell you, I don't know about Karina, but I got a doozy.
I do have a doozy, but it's because there's a lot of items in this story that you would not expect to be inserted into this story, but that's the fun of it. And that's also why it failed. So I'm excited.
I'm genuinely so excited. I hope you guys are too. Hi, welcome back. What are you doing?
Hi.
Are you having a good time?
Hi.
Having a good Friday?
Are you?
I don't know what that look was. I just made a random look. Okay. I want to really get into it because I really want to tell you this story and I hope I'm first.
Okay.
But if I'm not, it's okay.
It's okay.
Evens or odds?
Evens.
2.
Is it two?
So you're going first.
It's me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, we are going to go to 1969. Why can't I do a story that goes into the 2000s? I don't know. But I love me some good old 1900 stories. So, the year 1969.
I hate that you called it 1900s.
It is the 1900s.
It
technically.
is, but it makes me feel old.
True. 1990s
Anyway.
babies. So, in the later half of 1969, this whole story is going to take place from like end October to the beginning of December, like first week of December, okay? Like this is a very short time frame that this happens, okay?
Okay.
So the Rolling Stones, they were wrapping up their first U.S. tour in 3 years. Their tour was called the Rolling Stones American Tour of 1969, and it was huge. They had opening acts like B.B. King and Ike and Tina Turner, and they performed at all the huge venues like Madison Square Garden, etc., right? This was a very big tour. And the reason also why I'm kind of giving you like detail about this is because the Rolling Stones were facing a lot of backlash during their tour from the public and the American rock critics because the ticket prices were seen as like expensive for rock and roll concerts. They were around for like premium seats. They were around $113-ish for premium sections, and that's like me like translating like with inflation and stuff like that, like converting because of inflation. So about $113, but rock concerts were really not an expensive thing. Like you could go for $1, $2. Like it wasn't like you're seeing Beyonce nowadays, like
Yeah, or Taylor Swift
or BTS.
Like the cheapest.
Ooh.
Right. I don't even know. I remember like there was a controversy about how Taylor Swift's cheapest tickets was like $400.
Yeah. Yeah, and her tickets were expensive. I can't quite remember. I went to go see John Mayer in concert. Best concert ever. It was the best concert ever. But anyways, people don't like him, but I love him. I love his music. You cannot take away his music from me. I love it so much. Okay, side note.
Mm-hmm. Side note, I'm going to a concert this weekend. It was only like $67.
Like it should.
Like it should. But also, like, we love the Queen. Queen Irby.
They were $1,800 for both of us to go to a John Mayer concert. It was expensive. But
I just don't know if I love anybody that much. Technically there's 3. There are 2 out of the 3
that I have seen. The 3 people that I just need to see for my, or needed to see for my childhood self, okay? Childhood self, okay? Was the Jonas Brothers, John Mayer, and Ed Sheeran. I just need that for my soul because they were like such big music, like literally on repeat my whole life. John Mayer being the one that's been there ever since I was in elementary school. Like I've listened to him for so long. So it's just like his music, know every single song, know every single guitar solo. I could literally sing out every single guitar solo. Like that's my dog.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So dear, 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 but I literally, those are the 3. And I've seen the Jonas Brothers because they had that concert where they did all their, I think they're done. They're doing all of their albums, mashup concert. It was huge. Fantastic. Went to that. Saw Ed Sheeran, or not Ed Sheeran, saw John Mayer. Beautiful. Chef's kisses. I cried like a baby and I have it on camera. And next I need to see Ed Sheeran. And then my soul will be complete.
Touring? Is he touring anymore?
No, he has toured a lot, but I think he had kids back to back, so I think he's just kind of like just doing little things and chilling. So, but all artists come back and do a comeback tour. That's what John Mayer did, and that's what the Jonas Brothers did, and best believe I was there. Also, let me just go ahead and insert that footage of me crying singing John Mayer. So, back to the story. I can just understand paying expensive ticket money to see like just like something that your just soul just kind of needs. So,
right.
Get it.
I just don't know if I love any bands enough to pay that much. You know what I mean? Like, I love music. You know what? Not bands, but there are shows I'd pay that much money to see.
Yeah.
Like Broadway shows. So I kind of get it.
Yeah. So to fix their image, because their image is turned to garbage because they think that they're just, greedy people who just want money, they decided, Mick Jagger actually announced a massive free outdoor concert to act as like a thank you gesture to like end out the tour. Okay?
Okay.
Supposed to be great.
That sounds like a chaotic mess.
And this is Failed Festivals. That's where we're at. So, they knew that the historic Woodstock Festival, not that one, an earlier one, way earlier, happened a few months earlier in August of 1969. So the Rolling Stones didn't perform there, and they felt like left out. They had FOMO because it was a massive like cultural movement. So they wanted to create a Woodstock of sorts to prove that they were the true leaders of like the culture that was around.
What do you mean by, like you said, Woodstock, not that one? Because Woodstock was that year. Like Woodstock was that year.
Oh, the Woodstock was that year? I thought it was in like 1999. I swear that the failed festival was like 1999.
There's multiple there's 3 Woodstocks happened, but the peace and love Woodstock happened 1969.
Oh, I thought when I was doing my research, like the one where there was
there's
just,
a 1999 one.
Chaos and death.
Oh, failed festivals. Yeah, 1999.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But
that's what I mean.
The not chaotic. The iconic Woodstock that everybody knows.
So that's why they wanted to have like a Woodstock, because, and I was just trying to like, for the people who've heard of like failed festivals, they might think of Woodstock 1999, and I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about like the fun, do drugs, do the dirty everywhere all the time, and peace, love,
rained,
hallelujah.
There's mud everywhere. Everybody's bathing in mud for funsies.
Everybody's living their best. They really are living their best lives. Okay,
honestly, yeah.
So that's the Woodstock, and they wanted a piece of that. They wanted to be like, hey, we're throwing this free concert because we are the real cultural movement, okay?
Well,
like, peace,
okay.
love, hippie love over here. Drugs,
You said the
smigs.
Rolling Stones?
Yeah, the Rolling Stones wanted to have that title, so that's why they're throwing a free
Okay.
festival, okay? Because
Okay, but
they wanted that title.
right. But I thought like the Rolling Stones music was more like less peace and love, less psychedelic, more rock, more like
It is, but they wanted to have all eyes on them because right now Woodstock was
interesting.
like the thing. So they wanted their own Woodstock. They wanted that culture. They wanted those people. They wanted that attention. They wanted all of it. They seem just a little bit selfish. Yes, they don't fit into that culture, but they wanted to claim that culture because that's what was hot right now.
Okay.
So,
Got it.
they wanted to take all of the people who are in this times, that what's viral, what's cool. They wanted that entire demographic to be on them, like facing them, eyes on them. But my question is, do you really think that anyone in big business would really have a free concert and not get anything out of it?
Absolutely not.
No. It was free to attendees, but the Rolling Stones was filming a documentary about their tour.
Okay.
And they wanted this free concert to bring in numbers they had never seen before for the documentary so that it can be like historic, right? They can go down in history.
Foreshadowing.
This film it came out in the 1970s. It was a film called Gimme Shelter. They wanted a grand and triumphant festival climax for the movie to maximize their box office profits because they were not managed very well. They were facing a lot of financial issues, so they really needed money.
Okay. So free festival, great.
Free festival to make a movie to make millions, right? So, they're thinking in the long run here, right? The organizers first wanted to hold the concert at San Jose State University, but the city refused, like they should. Then they pivoted to San Francisco's famous Golden Gate Park, but the city denied the permits because they were scared of a massive, unmanageable crowd, obviously. So 2 venues canceled 1 to 2 weeks before this historic festival was set to happen. And most of that happening in such a short period of time, most would see that as a sign, right? Let's continue. So, the event was moved to a racetrack in Sonoma called Sears Point. Workers actually began building the stage there, but the venue's corporate owners wanted money, lifelong money. They demanded $300,000 up front, which they didn't have, and they wanted a massive cut of the Gimme Shelter movie rights. Mick Jagger refused. Another sign they should probably cancel. Did they? No. I wouldn't be telling this story, would I? So, with hundreds of thousands of fans already traveling to California, first of all, I actually should have done the research on this. I have no idea how they managed to communicate. Yes, they could communicate through radio and stuff like that. Probably quickest. I don't really know what the quickest way of bringing this information across the entire nation.
I mean,
you know,
telephones.
I mean, I know there was telephones and stuff too, but it's just it was just a lot harder to really spread a very short notice of venue changes and stuff like that. So I actually am very curious but if they didn't have a lot of money, I'm curious as to how they managed to do that too. So I should have done more research.
Maybe they put a sign on the outside. It's venue change. Go here instead. Ooh.
there was a bunch of people that were out of the state. So many people, literally hundreds of thousands of people were traveling to California. So
that's crazy.
Anyways, there was a local businessman named Dick Carter who offered his remote financially struggling racetrack called the Altamont Speedway for free just 48 hours before the gates were supposed to open. 48 hours. And because of the 48-hour venue switch, the logistical layout, they didn't really have time to do like a full tour to see like how this was going to work. It was absolutely disastrous. Infrastructure, like plumbing, food vendors, medical tents, they could not properly be moved in on time. And also, the stage at the new site sat at the bottom of a natural slope, meaning 300,000 people or so were physically pressing like downwards onto a stage that was only 4 feet off the ground. Let's continue. Another big thing is the Rolling Stones. They're going to have like big opening acts. Rolling Stone is the headliner. Like, they needed security. Obviously. There's going to be crazed fans, drugged out of their minds. Obviously, they needed security. Well, the band manager realized that he could not afford traditional police because the venue was outside of the city limits. Another problem was the local law enforcement refused to staff the event because they knew nothing about it. 24 hours is when they were notified that this massive concert was going to happen. They're like, we literally can't do anything. Like, how are we supposed to do this?
I don't understand. Okay.
Yeah. So, local law enforcement said, we're not doing anything. Rolling Stones manager decides to meet with Rock Scully, who was the manager of the band The Grateful Dead, who was going to be an opening act for the Rolling Stones at this festival. He stressed his frustrations and his stress and his anxieties and all the problems that he had to fix to Rock Scully, one of those major stressors being security. And so Rock Scully thought it was a wonderful idea to get him the best security to protect these headliners, these famous acts, from crazed, drugged individuals, concertgoers. He set up an emergency meeting with Sweet William Fritzk and Pete Nell, who were high-ranking leaders in the San Francisco biker gang Hells Angels.
This is going to be bad.
Lord. Let us pray. Lord. Oh, Lord, please help us. Okay, so.
Let us scream.
So, Sam Cutler, the manager, met the gang leaders at a bar. And during the meeting, the managements would buy $500 worth of beer for the gang, like for this conversation, for this meeting. However, them being drunk out of their minds, $500 then, not now, then, them being drunk out of their mind, they struck a deal.
Okay.
And nobody knew exactly what was going to happen. The description of what they were supposed to do was completely lost in translation. The Stones thought that they had bought an informal, like laid back, peacekeeping force management, right?
Yeah.
To manage the crowd, boundaries, like around the stage and all that kind of stuff. The Hells Angels thought that they agreed to come to a party with the exception of watching over the band's expensive electricity generators.
Cool. Okay, I thought it was going to be a lot worse. I thought that
It does.
they were, oh God.
It does.
Okay.
They thought that they thought that they were just going to a party and they just had to look over one thing. That means that they can act however they want to.
Okay.
So just imagine
Cool.
literally getting permission to act however you want to.
Yeah. Cool.
So,
okay.
while this meeting was happening, a construction crew was dispatched to the speedway in the middle of the night, pitch black night, because the stage had already been partially built at Sears Point, but they had to tear it down, throw the pieces into a flatbed trucks, and then drive it through the night to the new site. They worked under floodlights. They had no engineering oversight. The crew realized, like, the topography, like the landscape of the area of the racetrack was completely different, and they literally couldn't do anything about it. They did not have the supplies, they did not have the manpower, they did not have anything other than to do exactly what they were going to do at Sears at this speedway, which
That's
was
crazy.
have this tiny stage and everybody coming down on them, because the speedway they were going to, it was pretty like level land, so they could have the stage not super high off the ground, but everybody like was visible. Here you have a slope of people, which just not good. Okay, so by the time the sun came up on Friday, December 5th, the stage was secured with a little bit more than thick rope and some bolts. It sat at the bottom of the steep hill where 300,000 people would naturally just meh. So, on the morning of Friday, December 5th, 1969, just 24 hours before the music was scheduled to start, the Altamont Speedway transformed from a quiet, desolate racetrack struggling to survive into an overcrowded, chaotic tent city. 100,000 fans had already arrived to claim their spot on the hillsides. And because the venue switch happened so fast, there were no parking attendants, ticket gates, or signs. People simply just abandoned their cars on the Interstate 580 on the shoulders. It's a very narrow 2-lane country road, and
That's crazy. Just abandoning your car. Also, you have to think about that. Like, this is like prime time in history that everybody was hitchhiking.
That's true.
Everybody. So,
but there was a massive traffic jam nonetheless. Even if people were hitchhiking together and stuff, massive, stretched miles and miles and miles and miles away. It forced tens of thousands of hippie people, peace drugged, out to walk literally tens of miles through the cold morning air, because it was actually freezing in California, which is rare, but it was very, very, very cold. They had just sleeping bags and blankets and just made their way towards the track. Things immediately go crazy, because the more people come, the more often the bathrooms they had available were going to go out of order. There was a whole bathroom crisis. They only managed to bring out about 300 porta potties for an event that was supposed to, like I've said several times, hold about 300,000 people. By Friday morning, the lines were already hours long and the sanitation system was completely failed.
300 for 300,000 people?
Precisely.
Okay.
Yep. There were no official concession stands, so food wasn't really taken care of.
Cool.
There were no running water lines. They weren't set up. Cool. Fans had to rely literally on whatever stale food or whatever things of water they had from their own vehicles to survive.
Was this only like a day, or was this multiple days?
It was supposed to be technically one day.
Okay.
But because of this time frame, people would come a couple days before, camp out, have fun, especially if it's meant to be this big outdoor thing.
Yeah.
It's like tailgating, but a couple days longer, right?
Yeah. That's crazy.
So, also, it was so cold. Let me go back to my thought. It was literally so cold. There was ice. It was cold. Everything was frosted over. People weren't dressed for the occasion because they're it's California babes. They were absolutely freezing. So there was that too. They literally had to make makeshift fire stations. Not the organizers, the concert goers. They had to literally just figure it out and make something to burn fires around so they could literally just stay warm. So there was that too. Historians and attendees in an article that I read said afterward the vibe at the concert grounds was literally dark tents and 0 stars vibes the whole time, from literally the very beginning, since they got there. There was nothing to do. There was no infrastructure. There were heavy drugs, but like not marijuana and LSD, which is super common during
Psychedelics.
1960s. It was like a lot of cheap contaminated drugs.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Bad batches of acid,
Oh,
amphetamines.
delicious.
Yeah. By Friday afternoon, the medical volunteers from Berkeley Free Clinic were already overwhelmed by the amount of fans who were experiencing severe paranoid bad trips and psychotic episodes from all the drugs, because they were bored and they just kept popping pills because there was absolutely nothing to do and there was no food, and they were just like, what are we doing here? Why are we here? And then Hell's Angels show up. And as the stagehands were like frantically trying to finish the wiring for the sound system, because remember, they moved here 2 days before this thing was supposed to happen, Hell's Angels show up on their choppers. They park their motorcycles directly next to the low 4-foot stage. They set up the perimeter and they just start drinking a bunch of free beer that they had waiting on them, because I guess that was a part of the deal. I don't know. They started asserting themselves as the like absolute authority of this venue.
Cool. Do we know how many exactly there were?
There were approximately 100 to 150 Hell's Angels for 300,000 people.
Cool.
So Saturday morning, December 6th,
Cool.
there's officially max capacity, 300,000, okay? 300,000 at this venue, packed tightly, okay? All on drugs.
Oh my God.
It wasn't meant to hold this many people,
suffocate.
by the way, too. It wasn't supposed to be this way. The concerts begin. Now, crowds will end up kind of dissipating a little bit because everything just starts going wrong, and they're just not here for it. It kicked off early in the afternoon. It featured a great lineup, like I said earlier, but almost immediately the music was drowned out by violence directly in front of the stage. Santana set... What?
The Hells Angels.
Yeah. So Santana was playing. As Santana took the stage, the crowd was already pressing really hard against the platform. And the Hells Angels, who were already really, really, really drunk and on drugs, they were on LSD, they began to use sawed-off, like, pool cues.
Okay. Yeah.
They, like,
billiard.
made them sharp.
Billiard sticks. I don't know.
Yep. To brutally beat anybody who leaned too close. Not to the stage, though, to their motorcycles.
Oh my God. But they lined the stage with the motorcycles.
Precisely.
So, I mean, I guess they were protecting the people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Next lineup, okay? Our next opening act. The Jefferson Airplane. They performed. Okay. Violence was out of control. The band saw Hell's Angels beating up a young black male, and the singer, Marty Ballin, he jumped off the stage to intervene, but a Hell's Angel immediately stepped up and knocked Ballin completely unconscious on the ground. The band stopped playing because they were like, what the heck? What?
Yeah.
And the Hell's Angels were just like, yeah, he deserves it. Like, they were just, they literally get up on stage, stand their ground as to why they do it, saying that nobody's going to get in their way, and started to shout threats at the crowd, saying that they're going to them if they do anything, if they mess with any of them, touch their bikes, touch their beer. Like, look at them crooked, bro.
This is scary.
Okay.
I knew it was gonna be like this.
Yeah. You can kind of, if you get a massive gang, yes, absolutely, yes. The Grateful Dead, they were supposed to play before the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
The very band whose manager recommended the Hells Angels, okay, were about to take stage. They fly in a helicopter, so they don't even have to deal with all the people and stuff. They were met with a bloodied Marty Ballin and the stage crew that were with him, terrified, because they were actually terrified of the Hells Angels, and they had inadvertently caused like a riot, like the Hells Angels did, because they went up and they were just acting insane. And the Grateful Dead refused to play. They packed up their guitars, turned around, got on their helicopter, flew out, leaving a massive gap in the schedule. Huge gap in the schedule.
Yeah, I mean, I would not. I see
But
that.
it's the
I do
fact
the
that
same
they
thing.
recommended the Hells
They didn't.
Angels.
Their manager did.
Yeah, but I wonder if they're just all a part of the same, like, crew, you know?
Doubt it.
Like friends. Like they drink and do drugs together.
I
you
doubt
know?
it.
I don't know. So, they leave. Hell's Angels completely surround the stage, standing like a wall. Okay? Members of the crowd, out of their minds, going crazy on drugs, began stripping naked and trying to crawl on the stage, only to be beaten by groups of 5 or 6 bikers at a time. By the time
That's
Mick Jagger,
crazy.
Keith Richards, and the rest of the Stones finally walk out under the stage lights, the venue felt like an absolute war zone. Jagger looked unbelievably shaking. He was pleading to the crowd in the microphone and to Hell's Angels. He was just like, just be cool down there. Like, will you? Like, just chill out. Everybody cool. Everyone chill out. But it was obviously way too late. And then it was really too late. 18-year-old male Meredith Hunter and his girlfriend, Patty Bredehoff, attended the free concert. During the Rolling Stones performance, Hunter moved towards the front of the audience near the 4-foot stage, and an initial physical altercation broke out when a member of the Hells Angels pulled Hunter's hair. Why? I don't know. He probably took a breath in the freaking bike's direction or something. I don't know. But Hunter walked away, but then returned to stage, allegedly, and drew out a .22 caliber revolver from his jacket and raised it into the air. This is a concert goer. Okay? Alan Pissarro, he was a 22-year-old Hells Angel, saw the weapon, and he jumped from the stage down onto the ground. And Pissarro used his left hand to deflect Hunter's arms and then stabbed him in the upper back with a knife.
Okay.
And it was all caught on camera. Because remember, they're filming a documentary this whole time. So everything that's taken place here has been on camera.
I forgot about that, but I'm back.
But it was captured. On 16mm film, Hunter was then swarmed by several Hells Angels and bystanders who kicked and beat him.
Okay. This is not peace or love.
Bystanders lifted Hunter's body to the stage for help, but the Hells Angels immediately pushed him back to the crowd. Medics and attendees carried Hunter to a station wagon, acting as a medical tent, and they left him there while a medical helicopter was trying to arrive. It could not transport Hunter because the only operating aircraft was strictly reserved for the band, and Hunter died at the scene. Later on, and we're going to go back to the concert, but just away, after his body was taken away, an autopsy later confirmed that Hunter died of 2 stab wounds to his back and blunt force trauma to his head.
Could have been
I'm
avoided.
literally bouncing my leg because it just makes me so it almost makes me mad. Should he have brought out a gun? No. But most of the time, they would swarm, get the weapon away, and then arrest if they had actual police. Because I'm not trying to justify his actions. I don't understand what the altercation was and what happened or anything like that. So I don't want to sound like I'm justifying anything. But
no one deserves to die.
No one deserves to die. All of these people are on drugs. You have to take into account this information and do things safe. Because yes, maybe you blocked that person or you stabbed him, what if somebody else is just like, oh, we could just start killing people now because they're on drugs?
Yeah.
It could have been like like Lord knows what could have happened from this, you know? So, back to the concert. The Rolling Stones were unaware that a murder had just taken place. They briefly paused their set because they saw that a fight was happening, but their management advised them to keep playing to prevent a full-scale riot because, again, there's 300,000 people here.
Yeah.
They can't see what's happening at the front, which is not right. I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying that's why they said to, like, keep going.
Right. But also at the same time, like, when people are in that state of mind, stopping the only thing that's giving them joy is going to cause more irritation. So I kind of get it.
Exactly. So they ended up playing 8 more songs, finished their concert, and the moment the final song ended, the Stones ran off the stage, boarded their helicopter, and fled. Their management deserved to go to jail for a lifetime, especially making a deal with a very dangerous gang, not canceling it when it needs to. Like, they're technically can be held responsible for all of those concert goers, but they don't. So the 300,000 plus people dispersed. A lot of them, I don't know what happened. Maybe they hitched a ride with some friends, but there were a lot of cars that were just abandoned on that road. Just abandoned. So,
that makes sense. They're all on drugs, though, so.
I mean, yeah, literally.
Probably just were like, I'll ride with this person.
It's like, bro, you have the good stuff. Let's go together. Where you want to go? Golden Gate Bridge, let's go. You know? So, the following morning, there was media coverage, obviously, because word spreads, that let me go back. They gave full coverage of this concert event. It was the San Francisco Chronicle. They published a front page headline reading 300,000 say it with music, focusing on the massive attendance and initially reporting the festival as a complete success. But days after the concert, journalists began investigating rumors of extreme violence. And Rolling Stone magazine assigned a team of reporters to find out what really happened at the Speedway. And on January 21st, 1970, they published a massive investigative issue titled The Disaster at Altamont, and the report exposed the extreme violence, lack of medical care, and the details of Hunter's death, completely destroying the initial media narrative that the festival was just like the bee's knees, that it was the Woodstock. It was the Woodstock.
At least they reported the truth.
They did. Because I would hate for this to happen again and them think that they can just throw a concert together in 3 days and make more money. Because at the end of the day, this is a documentary. They're making money. And if they had a free concert, why can't they charge just like a little bit more just to make sure that there's like advertising saying, hey, we have to pay like food vendors because like we didn't have that last time, you know, or whatever.
Right.
They could just use their millions of dollars that they were going to use for this documentary.
Cool.
So, while editing the documentary Gimme Shelter, directors Albert and David Maisleys discovered that they had captured the exact moment of the stabbing on film. They brought Mick Jagger into the editing room to show him the footage, frame by frame, and the documentary captures Jagger staring at the screen in silence, looking extremely shaken as he realizes the magnitude of violence that actually occurred literally right in front of him. This is where I'll give them their flowers. They took that footage, they cooperated with law enforcement, and they handed the film to the police completely voluntarily.
As they should have.
Like, we can't keep this. But like at the same time, you know, people are just really sketchy, you know?
Oh, no, I know. But I mean, anybody who has a working moral compass would.
Period. January 1971, I'm not quite sure when, Alan Passero, the 22-year-old Hells Angel member who stabbed Meredith Hunter, went on trial for the murder of him. The prosecution used the documentary footage to argue that Picero's attack was unprovoked and brutal. However, the defense used the exact same footage to show that Hunter was pointing a gun towards the stage, and the defense successfully argued that Picero acted to protect the band and the crowd, and the jury found Picero not guilty on the grounds of self-defense. So, to end it out, though, the disaster permanently ended the relationship between the Rolling Stones and Hells Angels, obviously. The Stones blamed the bikers for the violence, while Hells Angels felt the band used them as scapegoats.
Well, I'm sure that they're crazy.
To make
I
it
don't know.
worse,
Uh-oh.
the Oakland chapter leader of Hells Angels, Sonny Barger, went on a local radio station to state that the Stones treated the bikers like animals and provoked the crowd on purpose. Even though there's footage.
Did I hear that
but-
right?
Yeah.
One of the biker gang
One of the
members?
bikers, so an Oakland chapter leader, went on a radio station and he said that the Stones treated them like animals and they're the ones that provoked the crowd. The Stones were the ones that provoked the crowd. So that's why the bikers had to
crazy.
act the way that they acted, obviously.
Cool.
Sam Cutler, the manager of the Rolling Stones, brokered the original beer deal.
Okay.
Like, he did it, but he wasn't like, yeah, we're just gonna get you, like, buy you with beer because y'all are stupid animals. Like, he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he needed protection, and he thought that those people would be that protection.
Right. Yeah.
But he parted ways with the band, Sam Cutler. He parted ways with the band, and he became the manager of the Grateful Dead. I don't know why they would take him in, but
Okay.
yeah. And then the Rolling
Cool.
Stones just did what they did.
Yeah.
Fell out, got back together.
That's
Then
crazy.
Yep. And that's
Wild
the
story.
failed free Altamont Raceway Festival.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Thank
Wow.
you for telling us that story.
You're welcome. It was a doozy.
I hope that listening to that story, people can, like, understand the mistakes that were made, and, like, if they're ever put in a situation where for some reason they're managing a band and wanting to do a free concert, they don't make the same mistakes.
I honestly think it's also a lesson of listen to the signs.
Mm-hmm.
The signs
Yeah.
were so clear.
Right.
They were so clear.
Mm-hmm.
They were literally in your face. You didn't have a venue 2 days before the event.
Right.
That's when you stop.
Yes. Correct.
I don't know if there was pressure from the documentary or like what, but like
Oh, definitely.
then make it not a free concert. Make it a really, really, really cheap one so that you can at least still bring in a lot of people and then use that money to pay for all the things that you need. Because people,
Right.
unfortunately, and businesses, unfortunately, move with money. So you might have gotten everything that you needed in a very short period of time if you had the money to pay them.
Yeah. Damn. Some people are just kind of not smart.
And then the part when I was saying before, when you have these people, like, are these items that are inserted into a scenario you never thought they would be inserted. That's what I meant. Like the Hells Angels being
Right.
security to a festival.
Mm-hmm.
That's like
crazy.
literally bringing a serial killer, like just a band of serial killers, because they are. I mean, they literally would kill because they don't care. They're like Brotherhood, me, you, everybody else, forget them. Like literally, like it's almost the equivalent to me
Right.
back then. Like
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Hells Angels now are like
Yeah, now
super chill.
it's different, but they had their...
Yeah, that's why I like Hell's Angels now. From what I hear, they're super chill.
Mhm.
Back then I've heard some stories. So
The 60s were wild.
60s were crazy.
Mhm. It really was, but
But
that's my story. I need water.
yeah, let's drink water, guys.
Ugh, goodness.
Much better. What are
Woosah.
you gonna do nice for yourself?
I'm gonna play Pokemon.
Hell yeah.
That makes me happy. I'm gonna play Pokemon. I'm gonna finish my Pokedex in Legends Arceus. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, who's your starter?
My starter, I picked... what's his name? I traded him out so long ago. I'm so sorry. Hold on. This one. That was my starter.
Cute.
That was my
Cute.
starter. I traded him out because it was just really hard to like gain all of his it was really difficult for me to try to like just get him as strong as I needed him to be. Now my all-time favorite Pokemon literally ever is Gastrodon. You cannot change my mind on it. I will show you Gastrodon. I absolutely adore this Pokemon. I have an alpha, and he is the best, and I love... or it's a she, technically, but the colors kind of throw me off. I'm just that type, I guess. Hold on. I'm on my Nintendo Switch. I'm going to show you right now. That is my favorite. It is so OP. I can
cute.
literally... yeah, I literally love this Pokemon so much. Just look at that. Look at that cute little side profile.
Oh my goodness. She's so cute.
That
I like her
Pokemon is...
pigtails.
Gastrodon is OP. I love that Pokemon. My next favorite is Cherim. I actually really like Cherim.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope you have so much fun.
I'm gonna have so much fun. So much fun. My fiance plays old school RuneScape, and what I do is because he sits at like the front of his office chair, and we have like XXL seats. And I'll get behind him. I'll straddle behind him and just rest the Switch on his back while he's playing RuneScape. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Cute.
But tell us what you are going to do nice for yourself. What are you gonna do nice for yourself?
Me?
Yeah.
I really am so hungry. It's like dinner time here. I'm gonna order some food because I don't feel like cooking. So she's treating herself.
And you shouldn't. And you shouldn't.
I don't know what I'm gonna get yet, but I'm gonna get something good.
Ooh, I want to know.
I'll let you know.
When you figure it out.
Yeah. You guys don't get to know because I don't know yet. So
maybe we'll tell you in
next
another
episode
eventually.
Next episode, I'm dropping what I got delivered. Dropping that DoorDash order. Not sponsored.
Not spawns. No spawns. But yes, please do something nice for yourself. Be so kind to yourself. Find that moment of happiness. Find that moment of bliss, of relaxation, of breathing, whatever it is that you need to do. And yeah, I'll see you next week.
And then come back next week for an extremely chaotic story.
You thought mine was chaos. Just wait.
Chaos.
Chef's kisses.
Oh, wait. We gotta go.
Bye. Bye. Okay.
Love it. Bye, guys.
Bye.